An issue that often worries cat owners is the fact that their companion leaves the house. Fortunately, it is something that can be avoided. If you want to know how, you are in the right place. Before we know the methods to prevent our cat from going out on the street, we must first understand why they do it. They are quite mysterious animals and have a number of behaviors that can be complicated for humans to understand. First, we must take into account that the domestic cat is a carnivorous mammal of the family Felidae, better known as felids or felines. However, our companions are the subspecies that has been domesticated through the centuries to coexist with the human being. So, despite being domestic animals, deep down they still have wild instincts that are in their genetics, which, although they are no longer so strong compared to those shown by bobcats or wild cats, also make them have wild behaviors such as going out hunting, which leads us to the first reason why our cats leave home. Number 1. Go hunting. As I said before, hunting is in the genes of cats, because they still retain a little of that survival instinct of their wild ancestors. The difference is that a domestic cat does not do it out of necessity to survive, but despite being well fed, they hunt for pure fun and do not always eat their prey. So, they usually go out in search of their victims. This activity can be quite dangerous, since over time entire species could disappear throughout the region, or there is also the possibility that they will encounter dangerous animals that do them some deadly damage, especially if they encounter any poisonous insects. Number 2. Procreation. This instinct is one of the strongest that exist in the animal world, because it is able to modify the behavior of virtually all species. This occurs when there is a cat in heat nearby, since the males, upon detecting their presence, automatically feel attracted to them, and it is inevitable that they leave. If you try to prevent your cat from coming out behind a female in heat, he can put something aggressive, and the same goes for females. This is why it is very important to sterilize our companions, since in this way there will be no unwanted cats in the streets for which no one wants to be responsible. Number 3. Starvation or mistreatment. An abused cat will sooner or later decide to leave home because of this same situation. The same happens if you do not feed him well. He will end up entering other people's homes looking for food, which is extremely dangerous, because he can be hit by the owners of the house he enters, attacked by the neighbor's pet, or he could also eat foods that are harmful to his health, including poison. You can watch our video about the things cats hate so you don't accidentally hurt them. Number 4. By territory. Homemade cats are also territorial animals, so this is usually another reason why they leave home, since they often feel that interest in seeking to expand the territory in which they are and go out to make a kind of recognition, which is increasingly wide, so they go further and further to expand their aroma in trees, cars, or sidewalks. Number 5. Out of curiosity. Sadly, the phrase "curiosity killed the cat" is quite true. They are curious animals by nature, so many times they are attracted to the unknown, including places, animals, or sounds, so they love to explore their entire environment. And yes, I know they are cunning, but sometimes they do not react in time to the threats they encounter when they leave. Number 6. By habit. If a cat from a young age decided to go out on its own, or you started to take it out, surely it will continue to do so for the rest of its life. Regardless he is sterilized, well-fed and spoiled, he will keep coming out from time to time over and over again. Now, once we have known the reasons why a kitten leaves home, let's go through some tips to prevent them from doing so. Number 1. Sterilize. The first and most important thing to do as soon as you have a pet is to sterilize. No matter if it is female or male, you must be responsible and aware that there are already too many stray animals out there who are suffering because no one has given them a home. In addition, as I said before, an unsterilized male usually comes out when there are cats in heat, which also makes them have a hostile behavior since their instinct of reproduction makes them go after the cats during their mating period, and if they meet other males, they will surely end up fighting. If you have a female, in a short time you will see a lot of cats coming to your house looking for your cat, and she will want to go with them. All these problems can be avoided if you take your feline to the veterinarian to be sterilized. It is not a very expensive operation, and sometimes the government makes free campaigns. Number 2. Entertainment. Something that makes them want to go out is boredom, so to avoid getting bored you have to keep him entertained. This is achieved by giving him a space to play inside the house or by dedicating a few minutes of your day to play with him. If you can, buy special toys for kittens such as scrapers, tunnels, balls, or those who play their prey. If you do not have money, for them it is enough to have a ball and a ball of yarn, but be careful with the latter since without supervision it can be dangerous. Number 3. Keep it closed. This advice is extreme and obvious, but if your pet insists on going out, you should make sure to close doors and windows well so that he doesn't escape as soon as he sees an exit. But if for some reason you have to keep the windows open or you have doors with large slits, you can resort to the use of meshes or grills to block these holes. Number 4. Use repellents. I don't know how effective they are in these cases, but you can try spraying cat repellent right on doors and windows. This way you won't want to get close to these places. If you want to try this method, you can buy repellents made in pet stores or make one at home. Number 5. Consent. Finally, it is important to make sure that nothing is lacking and is well cared for, because if, for example, your sandbox is dirty, you will go out looking for a place to do your outdoor needs. If you do not have a personal space, you will get stressed and leave looking to get rid of the noise and harassment of your home. If inside the house there is another pet or someone who bothers you a lot, you will end up getting fed up. But if he is hungry, he will need to do 2 things: go hunting for food or look in the house of a neighbor, and if unlike you, that neighbor treats him well, what do you think she will do? He'll visit more often until you finally decide to live there for good. Remember that, as I said at the beginning, these tips do not guarantee that your cat will not leave the house again, but they reduce the chances of him doing so. In fact, with some it is inevitable that they leave, since that is their way of being, and that is something that no one can change. I invite you to subscribe for more videos like this. You can also follow our networks for more content. Let's keep the Gary's legend alive.